know, the guy who comes in and just says, yeah, you're good, I like this, no,
Right,
you know?
Right. I mean, I think, I am not a curator per se, although I feel like I make work in a sort of a manner of curatorial, not so much in this presentation, but in other ones that I've described, in such a way that, again, thinking about like even a sense of self-selection can be curatorial, right, or something. But yeah, I mean, I think that what happens when you kind of put together a project is that you're creating a new ecosystem, and so inevitably, much like any other kinds of forms of, like, I don't know, biodiversity, like certain things are going to interact in a certain way, and you're going to get outcomes that are like different, and that can be such a kind of powerful space and also a fragile space. And so it's like, I think it's, I mean, the question of like what the relationship between artist and curator can be is, I mean, I feel like I've worked across a broad spectrum, and the ways that I feel most generative is when it can be as collaborative as possible. I am somebody who's like very interested in those hierarchies being a little bit like tampered with and leveled. So, certainly there's going to be times when you sort of maybe work with somebody who has a much more kind of like directed idea about what they're doing, and but for me that needs to be a conversation as much as possible. So those are, I think, the most generative relationships, is when you can really kind of like push and pull an idea around with someone, and that becomes like a third thing, not just selection and work. It becomes something else in that kind of like conversation. I think those become the best projects, when you can kind of like see something through to kind of an outcome that you hadn't even imagined, because maybe within the sort of sphere of what you're working on in the studio or whatever, it still like needs to go out into the world and sort of plug into some larger system, and so that person becomes a sort of interlocutor to kind of make that happen.